Hello everyone, welcome back to Qubit Factory. An unrelated thing I found out in between episodes. I don't remember if any game has ever done this, but I just accidentally found out that this game responds to the Windows play pause command. I have that mapped to one of the buttons on my mouse. You get mice and they have on the left side, they have a back and forward button. And I literally never in my life want to use those. So I remapped one of them to play pause, which is a button I hit relatively frequently. And the other one to nothing, because I couldn't think of anything else I do frequently. And in between episodes, I was like, oh, let's, turn on a YouTube video while I get the upload going. But my mouse, but when I pressed the play pause button, it muted the game audio. How interesting is that? Anyway, so if the game audio accidentally mutes in the middle, that'll be something I accidentally did, I guess. Of course, I'll notice right away, but it's just okay. So we were gonna read the handbook on. We were starting on learning how to move qubits around. Wait a minute. Oh no, this is more classic stuff. I didn't move into quantum. Okay. Well, looking at this puzzle, I don't know what to do with it yet. So that's interesting, right? So what is this object? Who are you? I don't understand you. Send from A to C and B to D, but is this an inverter? It doesn't look like it, right? Yeah. I don't know what this is. Well, I guess we can find out. This won't be the solution to the puzzle. But what do you do, man? They just go straight through. Oh, so is this a weird... The game doesn't have a way to create a wire that you can't delete, but it can make a gate you can't delete, and so there's a do-nothing gate? But we already have do-nothing gates, which are the opposite of this, right? But okay, this is a different one for some reason. Maybe. From A to C and from B to D. I mean, isn't this... Well, So, very well, you can sync up the inputs. Fine, right? And I guess on the other side, you just want... an output. We already did one of these where we output... We output alternating. So for every... We could send in 2 bits, making sure one's from A and one's from B, and then alternate which way they go. This doesn't maximize throughput? I don't know if I have the tools yet to do that. Because I think something you could do is have A go to C as the main line, and then have when a B bit comes along, it could interrupt and say, "Excuse me, I need to get through somehow," right? But I don't think we have that tool yet. I mean, maybe because you could duplicate. You could split this B and send one of it into the control plane and the other one into the data plane. Then use the control plane to optimize to toggle a something or other. Okay, anyway, I said at the end of the last episode that we would start by reading the quantum handbook because I didn't understand what this was, but it's not quantum, I'll tell you that. Okay, so fine. Actually, I should make sure this is up high. so that the A bit gets... No, that doesn't matter. Okay. What I should do is make sure it is the top one is level with this thing, so that the first bit to be released, the A bit, has a shorter path to travel to get here, so it will win every race. And then I just need a, I guess, a combiner. Okay, I can't have you that close to the wall. And it doesn't seem like there's anything asking me to optimize space, really. With a creation thing. Okay, let's be even a little bit further left. No one's asking me to build fewer wires, as far as I have seen. Get out of here. So in one state, okay, let's create... Oh, I should be getting the habit, I can... No. This actually rotates it. And then once it's placed, I can click here to tell it what to output, alternating zeros and ones. So in the 0 state, I want it to go straight. In the 1 state, please go down. And in the 0 state, go straight. Okay. So like this. That seems like it's working. Why do we have to do this many? Oh, so the goal can be succeed in a certain number of ticks? Okay, well, I did it. I still think there's some way you could do this much faster. If you had the A bits go in like a straight line and not wait for B's, and the B's just like send a little interrupt saying I need to get through. That would be pretty cool. But it might be impossible because of this barrier. Like, you can't communicate anything from the left side to the right side in any way that I can see, except the data in the bits. So I guess... Huh. I bet what you could do would be to send two bits through the barrier for each bit you want to transmit. A control bit saying where to send it, and a data bit saying what to send. So that's still twice as slow as optimal, but like, these zeros are really far spaced apart, right? So if we could use this time to send a bunch of A's, it would be a little faster, I think. Not much, because the space between the zeros is so... It's only like 6, and I think it would take you like 4 bits of throughput if you were to do it the way I'm describing. But I think, like, in theory, you could maybe speed it up that way. They're not asking me to, so I won't. As part of a product diversification strategy, the Qubit Factory is to begin offering remote bit processing. Customer sends their bits, we do stuff to them and send them back. Binary addition. Okay, this is the one. I promised if you asked me to do this, I would uninstall, so I'm skipping it. See ya. Teach me about storage and retrieval. For each bit from input stream A, output a 0 to C if it matches, and a 1 if they differ, assuming it starts at 0. Okay, this is a little bit more interesting. I don't think it's that interesting. But, basically we're going to need a splitter where we take the output and take the input bit, send it, take the bit that we're going to output and split it. Send it both to the output and feed it back into the control plane. And that controls the output direction of a combiner. No. That controls whether we invert something. So we have a thing like here, maybe, with a bit control here. Put a 0 if it matches. So and the thing is, I think I need like because these are okay. Let me check this. If I have this plugged in, you won't send anything until I send a single bit here. Is that correct? Because this one is supposed to be controlled by an output thing, but it's not? Yes. Okay. So I'll need to send one bespoke bit into this to start the pipeline. But after that, I want it to be controlled by something else. So maybe that looks like this. So your job is to send a single 0. Right? Assume the previous bit was 0. So if there's a 0, we should output a 0. And if there's a 1, we should output a 1. So I think this is right. Any bets? Didn't I tell you to make a bit? I accidentally set you to 0, apparently. It looks happy. Okay. Fewer than 400 ticks. Pretty easy. In fairness, I did only say that I would put my hard drive in the shredder if they asked for an 8-bit adder. This is probably a 1-bit adder. Yeah, okay. It's just asking me for XOR and, so those aren't actual gates that I have. Use bit controls with inversion and re-zero gates. Okay, so this is asking me to implement and XOR, which is a little bit, I mean, I'm understanding how to implement the basic concepts in this strange universe is still a useful thing to do. Okay, so bit controls inversion and re-zero gates. And I think is simple enough. And I assume XOR isn't that hard either. But the idea I have is, like, let's say we only had to do AND. We'll just split the bits and send to whatever. But, so for AND, you could have 2 controlled re-zeros. Or you only need 1, right? Yeah. With a bit control thing here. So this is all you need, actually, weirdly enough. Torch this, send this here. So in the 1 state, we set it back to 0. That's incorrect. I want in the 1 state to leave it alone. And the 0 state to set it to 1. No. In the 0 state, set it back to 0. So this way, if this bit is 0, it doesn't matter what this does. The output will be a 0, because we either don't re-zero it, it stays what it was, a 0, or we do re-zero it. And then I guess we'll use an X... No, what am I saying? Sorry. And then if this one is a 1, and this one is a 1, then we'll do nothing to it. But if this one is a 0, we'll 0 the top one, and so we get out a 0 when either one of these is 0. Right? Yeah. Great. So that would be it for just AND. Now XOR. Don't I just want to invert A if B is set, and then send that to the output, basically? I think so. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So the same thing, but with an inverter instead of a re-zero, as they're hinting down here. But we need to split things. So, I don't know. So let's split A. And B. So A goes there, and B goes there. But then also, A goes straight. A goes up here, and B comes over. And then we can just have an inverter. Doesn't matter which one, really. I can reuse this incinerator if I need to, but they probably won't make me. I don't know what they'll ask for. Time, maybe? Anyway, so we want a inverter on, let's say, this one, controlled by the other. where, yeah, that's correct. In the 1 state we invert, in the 0 state we don't. That's the default configuration for these things. Perfect. Go. Oh. Yeah, there is this kind of annoying interference where having things cross sucks. It works, but there's a bigger gap than there really should be. Not sure if there was anything I could do about this. I guess there must be, because I have failed to solve the problem. Oh, fuck you. Well, I mean, the inputs are coming through A and B hot and heavy, right? They're like, they have little gaps eventually, but there's a lot of them. So we ended up with, at the end of this, with kind of a deadlock where, like, where what exactly? Yeah, what was the final state like, actually? We have bits from B clogging up the whole thing. And in particular, this bit here is needed to go north, but it can't because it can't split south yet, because this bit is blocked by this B. So if we lengthened this section, that's kind of, these two wires are kind of buffers into the splitting disaster area. So if I did this, it might be a bit better. We can do better than that, right? I really have no idea whether this is actually progressing or not. How could I ever tell, like, if we're headed for disaster? It looks like we are right now, right? Yeah, this buffer. We got close to clearing it up. I just have to let through 2 more. Well, okay. I mean, you can certainly just do this, I suppose. Maybe I'll learn that what I'm doing here isn't actually... Obviously, it's not a perfect solution to the problem. I feel like it's solving it in a way by making these buffer areas longer, so it's harder to... But no, the problem is, I think, this isn't actually solving it, because, yeah, this buffer gets longer, but this one does too. And so, like, if one of them gets to dominate, it'll have a really big buffer to be in the way of the other one's really big buffer. So I don't think this actually solved anything. Let's find out, though. Yeah, see... mean, I think this is gonna untangle itself barely, but then we're gonna have another problem over here, right? Imagine, right? I don't know. It's a mystery. Use 2 or fewer control gates. How could you use more than 2? I mean, this kind of looks like it's working, actually. No, it's broken now. This buffer is not long enough to live through this buffer. Oh, but one of these got through somehow? Are these actually alternating? Are they taking turns? They seem to be, but I don't know why. That's what I desire, I think. But how did they do it? I had this thought that, like, maybe I could use a sync gate on these so that only these 2 buffers proceed at the same pace. I think that would actually fix the problem. Or maybe it would make it much worse. One of the 2. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's doing okay. A lot of bits to send through. Yeah? We did it. I remain unconvinced. A link to the ancient text relevant to this factory. Is this... Okay, fine. Tell me, what is... Oh, it's opening a separate window you can't see. It's the Wikipedia article for half-adders, which... What kind of window has it opened this in? This isn't Chrome. Is this like Java's built-in browser? I mean, it looks Windows-ish. So curious. Oh, you know what? Well, maybe it is Chrome, but it's like an embedded Chrome window in some way. Yeah, because it's got like toggle developer tools on is in the view window. I've never seen. If I open the task manager, I know you guys can't see this. This is boring, I guess. But what? Qubit Factory. Oh, maybe what I can do is hit Shift Escape. No. What on earth? Okay. Well, I don't know what kind of browser window it opened. It's a weird one. It's not a full Chrome window. I think it's kind of an embedded Chrome window now, but I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. Okay, so it's just tells me about half-adders. Which, yes, that is a half-adder, right? Because it outputs the sum and the carry bit, but it doesn't take the carry bit as input, so it's not a full adder. Output every 3rd bit from A to D. And the rest to C, so 1, 1, 0. Then another 1, 0, and then I assume there's a 0 up here that I can't see. Words are not very pleasant. Halves are much easier for computers. How would you do this? I mean, control bits are important, obviously. The game music loop is catchy, but really short. I grow tired of it. Can these things be created with, configured with this? No, they don't like it. Okay. Thought that might do something. What is this? This is a delay. You need like at least 2 control bits, I think, maybe even 3, that each have the option to like turn a splitter or a combiner to redirect the output to somewhere else, right? And like it starts out that they're both pointing in the C direction, and then one of them gets pointed the other way. But nothing actually right? And then when we actually send a bit to D, we release another bit that resets the input state in a way. If that makes sense. So like, there'll be a couple bit control things, and when a bit is scheduled to go to D, we first split that bit and send it back. We send it back as a 0, I suppose. So, yeah, so maybe the idea is something like this, I guess, where you have the straight line path, control bits here. And no, I probably don't want them there. I think I want them. Well, okay, maybe I do. Okay. Well, these are both configured in pass-through mode, which I think I want to be denoted 0 to start with. And then when this sends a bit, it also sends... not there. It sends that a bit up here as well. To configure this next splitter to say, the splitter it just passed through, say, don't go that way again, go the other way, right? But I need more space, I think. Probably that's plenty, hopefully. And then when one goes through here, likewise, it splits up. I just need a tiny bit more space. Turns left. Actually, weirdly, I think I want 1 to be the go straight state, because I want this... 0 is the only bit I can get in a very easy, small amount of space, right? So I'm imagining like this. Where we send something through here, and then it notes, hey, I went through here. Oh, but my plan was that it would then reset this to say, hey, here's where you should go. The problem is it has to affirmatively set every splitter or combiner for every bit. I can't just say, oh, leave this one in the state it was, right? They require synchronicity, 1 input per output if they're set to primed mode, if they're controlled by a control bit at all. So I need... I mean, I think this approach is workable, but it doesn't look like fun. And we need a little bit more space. Again. So when this bit, when this goes straight, we'll say that means we're at internal state 0 in a way. Like we have this is the first bit of 3 that we're sending east. In that case, we need to send 0s to both of these. No. We need to send a 1 to one of them and a 0 to the other. I guess a 1 to this one, because I'm saying that this is the first thing. Okay. so this doesn't belong here. Why are you beeping at me? Oh, I can't because these have control bits on them, I see. Something like that, maybe. Oh, this is the worst. This still doesn't work. I don't think I'm gonna have enough space above. I mean, I can always shift it down if I have to. So my thinking was that we have like so this is a splitter, right? One side is going this way. Okay, maybe I'm overcomplicating this idea by... Okay, I think... Like, yeah, I need controls on these. That's true. But I was kind of trying to send it up and then split it again into... But I only need... Every bit that's input needs to go needs to do three things, right? It needs to go to the output, one of the outputs, and it needs to choose a configuration state for these two thingy-jiggies, right? So if I just take the top and bottom of these and set them appropriately, right? Set 1 to 0 and 1 to 1. This to 1, let's say. Like so. So that sends a 1 here. Okay. And then we want to send a 0 here. Well, that's not so bad because I can just do this, right? The problem is all these crossings are absolute horrible. I hate them. So maybe, okay, it's going to cost us a lot of time. But maybe I can sync here. So we don't let a new bit in until everything has been reset properly. And then we trash this. Right? And then if a bit goes through, and then we have to do this as well, I guess. Well, I don't have a lot of space for my split. Oh, I put a splitter here already. Okay. So if a bit goes through here, first we send it to C. But also we send a 1 to both of these locations, right? And I could use the bottom half of this, but I don't want to. And it joins up here. So now these are both 1. And then, should it so happen, let's see. What do we do if this one points the other way? Well, I think what we have to do is join it back up here. Oh God, what a nightmare. So like, this combiner was not able to authoritatively decide which direction to send it to. Because it reads a 1, but it doesn't know what this was. If this was a 0, it can authoritatively decide what to do. Which is to set this to 0 and let this bit go all the way out and set this to 1. But if this was a 1, it shouldn't modify anything. Oh no, I'm worried. No, this is not right. I don't have my states right. If this one is in the 0 state, which we can arrange at the start of the puzzle, that should mean that we haven't sent any bits yet, so the next 2 have to go over here. Wait! Maybe I can just... Can't I just queue up all, like, in order to send 3 bits to the output, I just need to control 2 splitters 3 times each. I just need to make the right 6 bits, don't I? I don't have to, like, keep track of the... like, I don't have to have each bit that I'm outputting do something. I can have the first bit, well, I can send a signal on the control plane saying, hey, I'm ready for the next 3 bits. Please send 6 pulses to the combiners as appropriate. And those will be like 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. I don't even need 2 splitters if I do it this way. Okay. I can just send 0, 0, 1. How? That seems easy, right? Okay, let's try this. So this needs to be controlled, and I think it needs to be controlled in 2 ways. Firstly, we need a bit creator that outputs a 0 once. Nope, not right. I do need something that outputs a 0 once, but it should be like somewhere else. Probably over here, in fact. So in the 1 state, please go over here. In the 0 state, please go straight. That's right. Good for you. So anytime we send a bit south to D, that's when we want to reset this. So what I need is some little facility that takes in a single bit of any kind and outputs 0, 0, 1 in sequence. I think that's easy. So first, we 0 the input, so we know it'll be 0. And then we do like this, where I guess U are inverted to become a 1. Oh, I guess I didn't want that. I wanted this, right? Not quite. Because this way the middle bit would win. Oh, well. 0, 0, 1. Yeah, the left and the right bits are tied in this out, which is not what I want. I think I'm looking for like this. So let's just test that. Will you output 0, 0, 1 for me? Oh, you're not configured? Oh, because I didn't... Right. This is just the re0. It's not the bit creator. So let's assume somebody gave you a bit. Just one. Yeah, we get 0, 0, 1. Okay. So I just need to feed that. Actually, it doesn't need to be fed multiple ways, does it? I just need to feed that in here. And send you to that output, and you get split. One of you goes out, and the other one goes into this lovely machine. Okay, we can save a little space here. Though maybe don't want to save too much space, actually. I want to make sure there's room for this stuff to buffer up all the control panel stuff here, right? Because you are going to flood things, aren't you? The 0, 0, 1 won't be able to get through. So all of this should actually be on the right side, not the left. Because there's not much traffic over here. I didn't leave myself much of a gap, did I? Okay, that should be fine. I'll just, do that. Where 001, huh? Well, the good news is the 1 is going to be really slow now, so I can actually just have a merger like this pretty easily, I think. These two will go in some arbitrary order. I don't know what it is, but I don't care. Like so. What do you think? Looks good to me, right? Don't use any incinerators. Oh, you're right. I don't need to make these every time. I can just loop them. Which means I don't need this splitter or this joiner. That's cool. Well, then I could just make a 0, 0, and a 1 and queue them up, I suppose. Rather than making one thing and splitting it and... yeah. Let's see. Let's make... 2 zeros. And a single 0, which will become inverted into a 1. I end up needing 2 of these, which I don't love. But I think it's a little hard to avoid. Like that? It's pretty cool. Yeah, this is... I had some crazy ideas at the beginning. This is way better. And I appreciate the hint about not using incinerators either. Like, I eventually figured out this scheme of like just sending a 0, 0, 1 in order, rather than trying to have the splitters themselves control the state, which you could do, but it would be much harder than this. So, okay, looping. Looping is important. It is a thing you may wish to do at some times in factory creation. All right. Well, that's enough for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.